So I want to talk about something that has caught my eye this morning, and it's actually trending this morning as I'm recording this, and it's the detention of Martha Karua. So before we get into that, uh, within the last six months or so, Martha Karua has been in conflict with a lot of East African governments simply because she's trying to fight for uh, different stakeholders and opposition leaders in East Africa, and fighting for justice for different people across East Africa. And one of the controversial cases that she has been handling is the arrest and detention of Besigyes, who is an opposition leader in or an opposition member in Uganda. So the time when she went to Uganda to try and defend Besigyes, who, as we speak right now, is still being held in a military confinement or a military base, for lack of a better word. And she went there to ask or to compel the military judicial system to actually give him a fair trial in a normal civilian court. So for those who don't know, Kizza Besigye was arrested or taken from Nairobi and and deported to Uganda without anyone knowing. And he was held by the military, and his main allegation is he tried to uh, overthrow the government, and others are saying or alleging that he was found with weapons, military grade weapons from Uganda, and that is why they're trying him over here. So in Uganda right now, there's a bill that's called the UPDF bill. So UPDF basically stands for Uganda Police Defense Force. Yeah. And this bill is supposed to authorize the military to actually try citizens in their own courts. And if this actually goes into passing and becomes a law, things are really going to change in the country, because it states of things like um, nobody should be able to disclose military location or the UPDF location if they're on a mission, because it jeopardizes and puts the whole battalion at risk, amongst others. But that's not our case for right now. So right now, I just want to talk about the detention of the likes of Senior Counsel Martha Karua, Ngugi Lin, and Gloria Kimani, who are being held in an airport in Tanzania, awaiting deportation. So apparently, they landed in Tanzania. They were supposed to oversight or to be international trial observers. So basically, international trial observers, they try to oversee different trial cases. I know right now in Tanzania there is a case of Tundu Lisu, who is actually facing a case of what do you call this? What do you call this case whereby you're charged for treason? Actually, treason, yeah. So he's facing treason charges, and it faces a critical punishment or a severe punishment of death. So she was going to oversee the criminal charges against him, amongst others. And when they got to the airport, uh, when the immigration officer took their passports and dug some information about them, he then referred them to his senior advisors and asked them to wait on the waiting bay. And the senior advisor basically just came back and told them that their entry to Tanzania has actually been denied. So, as an East African and the East Africa community, I think it's high time we really need to sit down and discuss this. If I'm going to get an entry into a certain country within East Africa, I feel like at this moment and age that we're in, people should freely be able to move from one point to the other. Because, one of the problems that we Africans are facing is that there's so much restriction moving from one country to the other within our own continent. And if we're able to beat that, and if we're able to unite as Africans, we can actually do so much. The guys of the likes of Ibrahim Traore, let me just digress for a second. The likes of Ibrahim Traore are actually being loved across the country and being appreciated across the country for trying to unite Africans. Most Africans appreciate the fact that they need to be one. They need to operate under similar terms and conditions. Trade agreements and arrangements should be fair and cheap amongst Africans. And I personally believe if Africans are able to do business together and are able to remove all these restrictions. The borders were created by colonialists. Before, it was just kingdoms, and kingdoms didn't even have a a well-defined border. It was just landmarks, a river, a forest, a mountain, and so on. But back to our story. So basically, I saw this story having been posted by Martha Karua herself, and let's listen to what they have to say in a video. So there's a recording that is here, touching base on the same.
Chilling at Mwalimu Nyerere International Airport, Dar es Salaam, where the three of us have been detained awaiting deportation. We thought that as citizens of Jumuiya we were free, but not yet uhuru. The great Mwalimu Nyerere, who welcomed all people, the oppressed of Africa, this is not what he must have envisaged, that we can be detained here. The common thread among us, we are guests of East Africa Law Society, and there is fear in this government of our dear Mama Suluhu about people who may be interested in the politically motivated cases against Tundu Lisu. Aluta, continua. Aluta, continua.
I just love how she has actually embraced the new generation way of communicating, and one of those is social media, definitely, like what I'm doing right now. And it's even insane when you have conversations around, we're having conversations around people being free to move around the same community. Remember, this is a community that was formed to enable people transact, communicate, and basically just live in harmony together. That is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, the East African Community, EAC. And this goes to show you how much the current guys in East Africa, or the current presidents in East Africa, are actually in fear of what's about to come. So we know that come next year, Uganda have the elections 2026. Kenya has the elections in 2027. And I believe, is it this year or next year that Tanzania expects to have their own elections? So all these guys are trying to secure another term for themselves. In Kenya, we have the saying of Wantam. There's a song around here. I think I'll place it in one of these places where we're talking about the guys having just one term. And I'm pretty sure guys like Museveni are listening to some of these things and they're like, how is this happening in Kenya? Yeah, how are you able to talk about this? In Tanzania, there's been forced disappearances. Allegedly, there's been irregular trials, allegedly, around the place. And I mean, what else can we say at this point, apart from, if people can fight for their freedom, let them fight for it. Let me know what you think about this whole detention of people and the freedom of movement and transaction across East Africa and even Africa in general. So another person who posted about this story was, let me look for him, Bonnie. Bonnie has been a really deep critique of what has been happening in East and Central Africa. There's also another video by Mother Karua here. I think I had not seen this, so let's just watch it together.
Here we are. These are our bags. Just giving us back our bags on the way to the deportation room. We are
yeah, okay. They're basically just saying that they're on their way to their deportation flight. Anyway, it's crazy. It's crazy seeing some of these things happen. So I was talking about Boniface Mwangi. He was also another guy that I saw having posted about this story. And he's always consistent when it comes to kunyorosha East African leaders. And this is what he had to say. He basically said that Senior Counsel Martha Karua, Human Rights Advocate Ngugi Lin, and Law Society of Kenya Council member Gloria Kimani are currently getting deported from Tanzania by Suluhu Samia, oppressive regime. They landed in Tanzania this morning to visit political prisoner Tundu Lisu and attend his court hearing tomorrow. Chadema chairman and presidential candidate Tundu Lisu was arrested in April and charged with treason, and his party was barred from participating in the general elections happening in October. So yeah, as I was saying, Tanzania are basically going to have the elections this year in October, then probably Uganda next year, either, yeah, I think mid next year. So he says since Suluhu took over, there's been an increase in extrajudicial killings, serious problems with the independence of the judiciary, and the continued illegal detention of political prisoners. There is serious restriction on freedom of expression and media freedom, including unjustified arrests and prosecutions of journalists. Again, same old, same old. We have seen cases in Kenya of the journalists who are arrested for allegedly having participated in the making of the Blood Parliament documentary. We have seen journalists being tear gassed. We have seen kids being tear gassed. We have seen people being killed and all that. But it's, I always say, same script, just a different book. Kenya reads from the same script that Uganda reads from, same script from what Tanzania reads from. And if these heads of state are in liaison in all of this, definitely it will be so hard for one president to actually come out and say, hey, I'm not going to do this. We need to stop this and all that. And power is a crazy thing. They say power in Alewesha, right? It gets you drunk. So Boniface Mwangi has always been tandikaing this guy is a good one for a very long time. So there's this post where I said John Pombe, number 1, he's an enemy of girls' education. Number 2, an enemy of free speech. 3, enemy of press. 4, corrupt, buys and bribes politicians. 5, jails opposition leaders and critics. That is what is happening right now. Kills opponents and critics. Lawbreakers, defies the constitution. Kidnappings and extortion. Rules by decree. Mnafiki, Magufuli Pombe. Okay, we know Magufuli is already gone, so RIP to him. We have so many people who have gone through a rough patch with different leaders, and one of those people is a musician by the name Roma. For those who know Roma and for those who also don't know him, Roma is an artist, as a Tanzanian artist, and they have a group called Rostam. They are basically, most of their sounds and music that they create is critiquing the government of the day and trying to get them to do better. And there's a song about him, I think it's called Zimbabwe, of how he was kidnapped, detained, tortured, and then thrown in the middle of the desert in Tanzania to find his way home. So I'll link the song probably up there somewhere for people to go to listen to it. And the main question here is, until when are we going to face all these problems? And I feel like some of these presidents should be learning from what the guys like Ibrahim Traore are trying to do in their country. Ibrahim is basically transforming the country. The kind of machinery that this guy has actually bought to build roads. And from a clip I saw on Wodemaya's vlog while he went to visit the country, one of the constructors or contractors of the roads said that the roads are being built by people from their country. Machineries are being operated by people from their country. And it shows that if you actually put in enough resources to empower your people, they can do it. We Africans can do it. If you buy enough machinery, if you buy enough materials for us to build roads, come up with electronic gadgets for the hospitals, train enough teachers, train our own military even, we can do it. But the problem with our leaders is they try to keep their citizens in poverty. And when you're in poverty, it's easy for someone to control you. Because if I give you 1,000 is even so much money. If I give you $10 today for survival, that's way above the poverty line in most countries. So if I give you $10 to survive today, knowing very well that in 2 days' time, you will not have the same $10. And since you will not have worked, you will have lost a lot. You will still have to come back to me again for another $10. and I'll give it to you. And if I give you the $10, you'll feel as if I'm trying to help you. While in the other case is, I need to actually provide the resources for you to be able to run your business, or for whoever has employed you to be able to run their business, get some little income, pay you, and then you feel like you have really accomplished something. Yeah. So let's see where all this is going. I'm pretty sure Mother Karua and the team are definitely going to get deported. And if they manage to fight this off, probably the East African Law Society might appeal to the East African judiciary and grant them safe access to Tanzania. They're really trying as hard as possible to keep guys from voicing out their concerns. Remember, Tanzania has jailed Tundu Lisu. Okay, probably what he said might have been extremely controversial, because he said that if these guys try to rig the elections, then the country will not be the same anymore, which I believe is kind of the same thing that Gachagua said in an interview with Obina. I'll look for the clip and paste it there. And it's not like they're encouraging war and hostility. They're basically saying that at the position and the situation in the country right now, you cannot afford to actually try and steal from people who are fed up. We saw what happened in Kenya. We've seen what has been happening. There's been riots in Tanzania. And I think most people have not been given the chance to see this. There's been riots in Tanzania, there's been shootings, there's been killings, and it's a crazy ordeal. If they have jailed or they're holding Tundu Lissu right now, because the elections are about 3 or 4 months from now, they're holding Besigyes because the elections are next year. They're trying to try him and bar him from participating. What will happen in Kenya come 2027? Because it's a trend. If they're jailing all opposition leaders, right now I believe they can't really jail the main opposition leader in Kenya, that is Raila Odinga, because the broad-based government, yeah, and the things that they're doing behind the scenes. But whoever will be vying, be it the whole, they call themselves the Big Seven. If one of them shows up and declares they're running for presidency and they are backed by the rest, we don't know if they'll be arrested. Most of them have skeletons in their closets, and we know governments. If you have a skeleton in your closet, they will definitely hold on to it until they really, really need to use it. So all of them have something going on, and I'm pretty sure they are trying just to get the right opportune time to unleash the guard dogs and have them arrested and detained. Well, it's a crazy ordeal. Let's see what happens from here henceforth, and I'll keep following. In case anything shows up, I'll definitely share it with everyone. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, follow if you are watching this over any other social media platform apart from YouTube. Share with friends and family. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.